Hey, good evening. We're coming live from the beautiful beaches of Mexico. You got Steve.
What's up?
You got me. That's right. And tonight we're doing your lesson. And tonight we're going to talk about God created people. So, you know how we start off? We start off with our Bible verses. Our unit verse comes from Psalms 139:14.
Good news this week. The unit verse and the weekly verse.
It's the same
one.
That's right. It makes our jobs a little bit easier. I saw that just a few minutes ago. But you know what it is? I will praise thee, for I am fearful and wonderful made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. That's Psalms 139:14. So that's our unit verse we say all month. But, like Steve said, it's our weekly Bible verse. So you got to say it again. We'll say right here while you do it. Do 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 do. All right,
good job.
Yeah, good job out there. So we're gonna start with our story. Steve's gonna read it.
So this story is going to be based from Genesis 2, verse 4 through 24. When God created the heavens and the earth, at first there were no shrubs or plants growing because God had not made them, had not made it rain yet. There was no one to care for the land, so God made a mist of water come out of the ground to water the entire surface of the land. After that, God formed man out of dust from the ground. He breathed the breath of life into him, and the man became a living being. Then God made a garden in a place called Eden. He put the man there and gave him the garden to work it and watch over it. God made beautiful trees grow that were good for food. In the middle of the garden, he also placed a tree of life, and a tree of knowledge of good and evil. The man was allowed to eat from any tree in the garden, but God commanded him not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. He warned the man that if he ate from that tree, that he would certainly die. God looked at the man and said, "It is not good for you to be alone." Then God made every wild animal and every bird in the sky. He brought them all to the man to see what he would call them. Whatever the man called the living creature would be its name. Among the animals, the man still did not have a good helper, so God caused a deep sleep to come over the man. While he slept, God took one of the man's ribs and used it to form a woman. When God brought the woman to the man said, "At last, this is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. I will call her woman because she was taken from man. This is the reason man leaves his father and mother and marries his wife."
So that was based on Genesis 2, 4 through 24. The word paradise, what does that mean to you? Is it, like I said, we're from the beautiful beaches of Mexico. Is it a beach and an ocean? Nah, the oceans make me throw up. The waves and all. Yeah. What about
seasickness?
That's it, rocking back and forth. What about in the woods, in a cabin with the birds and all that? Birds poop on you. That's not me.
And the bullfrogs keep you up late at night.
That's it. So much noise. So what is your paradise? God made the Garden of Eden. Eden refers to a pleasant place. It was, after all, God created it. So Eden means pleasant. Garden of Eden, it was a pleasant garden. But, you know, it said in the first paragraph of our thing, there was no trees, no shrubs, no nothing. So God made a mist of water come out of the ground and water the entire land so the shrubs and the trees and all that would grow. Have you ever seen a mist of water? Let me tell you how to do it. Go somewhere by yourself when you got to sneeze. Put your hands behind your back and sneeze real hard. All the stuff that comes out. Yes.
Coronavirus.
I'm sorry, we can't do that. I apologize. But that was the mist. That's mist coming out. I said go by yourself, but we can't do that. I'm sorry. But it came out of the ground and it watered everything. But God, you know, He's like, I need somebody to tend to the garden. I need somebody to take care of the animals. So he made man. He put 2 trees in the Garden of Eden. And one tree was the tree of life. Isn't that in Disney World, the tree of life?
I think so.
Animal Kingdom, I believe that's what they call it, the tree of life. And also the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So there was 2 trees, plus a lot of berry bushes, plus a lot of fish, plus a lot of cows, plus a lot of horses. We don't eat horses, I'm sorry. Plus a lot of pigs. So they had food everywhere. And God said, do not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You can't, you'll die. Right there on the spot, fall over. You can't eat from that tree. So, you know, he made Adam. Adam was to take care of the gardens. He was the name of the creatures. Now when I read the lesson, it kind of crossed my mind. I was like, was he supposed to name them cow, horse, pig, or did he name them Hector, Louis, and Sally? I don't know what he was supposed to do, but you know, maybe he was supposed to name them cow and horse, and that's how we know what they are today. So
He used Google.
did Google help him? So Adam, you know, he was in the Garden of Eden. He was taking care of the animals. He was naming them left and right. He was eating from where he was supposed to be and all that. But God looked down one day and said, I think Adam's lonely. He's all by himself and he's all doing that. So God put Adam into a deep sleep. You ever had surgery? That's the deep sleep. You go to sleep for a while, you wake up, and really nothing has happened. Not supposed to be, but you know, you feel like you've been gone 10 hours, but you've only been down 20 minutes. So he put Adam in a deep sleep and he took a rib from him. So from that rib, he made a woman. And God made her and brought her to Adam, and Adam said, at last, this is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. They were meant to be together, man, woman. You know, that was the first marriage. Adam married Eve. And this is the reason the man leaves his mother and father to go marry the woman. So, but they lived in the Garden of Eden, which was a pleasant place. It was the paradise, and they only had one rule. That one rule was don't eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So, kind of like CC's Pizza in that commercial when the guy tries to take his shirt off and somebody yells, we got one rule, put your shirt on. They had one rule, don't eat from that tree. So that was the lesson based on Genesis 2, 4 through 24. If you don't know where Genesis is, we covered that last week.
Still right in the front.
Right in the front of the Bible. It's easy to find. So you know what time it is? It's question time. All right. Yay. First question. What did God use to create the man? iPad. He drew him out and put hair. Didn't like it, erased it off and tried again. No, he used dust from the ground.
I was going to say Etch-a-Sketch, but I don't think they would know what Etch-a-Sketch was.
2 little wheels and drawing and all that. He used dust from the ground. He drew some dust up from the ground and he created man. He created man in his image, just like God. What was the man's assignment in the Garden of Eden?
To plow.
That's right, to plow. Garden, you know, he had to work the garden. Have you ever grew anything in the garden? I've tried many, many years. I don't get nothing to grow. My oldest son, Zeph, he got some stuff to grow this year. So he watched over the garden. He picked the vegetables. He also watched over the animals. He was supposed to name them. I hope he named something Michael. So he was to work and watch over it. What was the name of the only tree man could not eat from?
Oak.
Oak. I kind of like hickory instead of oak.
Hickory smoked.
Yeah, that's it. Hickory smoke. Yeah. No, it was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The tree of knowledge of good and evil. God said, don't eat from that tree or you certainly will die. They didn't die, but what happened? They got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. They lost their paradise. What did God bring all the animals and birds to the man? Why did God bring all of the animals and the birds to the man?
Because he was bored.
The man was bored. He was just sitting there on his iPhone, scrolling Facebook. No, he brought them so the man can name them. Once again, did he name that one a cow, horse, pig, or did he name Hector, Louis, Sally, and Sammy? I don't know what the naming part was.
I'm going to have to study harder.
Why did God make woman? Why did God make a woman?
I have a couple answers, but I'm going to say so that man wouldn't be alone.
That is correct. All right. Yes. I was thinking the same two answers he had, but we will
We're
not say
saying
them.
Nope.
No. So man would not be alone. You know, Adam was working hard. He was picking the vegetables, naming the animals, looking after bird poop, not falling on him and all that. And God said, hey, he looks alone. So I'm going to create him a wife, a woman. Last one. Here we go. This is the biggest one. How did God make woman?
Chisel.
Chiseled them out of a big block of marble.
Yeah.
Yeah, got the curves and all that in there. No, you remember? He made Adam go into a deep sleep and he pulled a rib from Adam. So women were made from the ribs of men. Not today though, but back then when Adam and Eve, it was ribs. So bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. So that's how God created the women. Hey everybody, you did a great job out there. I heard some answers coming from you. And as I say always, till next week, we'll see you later.
Bye.